Buy it now. Not an ad. This sounded like a good way to end that. Ubisoft on its open worlds. Ubisoft, of course, famous and popular for their many, many franchises over the years. They are quite a big company. Everyone's heard of Assassin's Creed. That's one big touchstone. All the Tom Clancy games, they do everything. They're just one of those guys. They are a big open worlds company. They do lots of big open worlds, and in particular, their open worlds have been getting bigger and bigger. Apparently, they're okay with that. There has been a lot of complaints, especially with Assassin's Creed, that their games are too big. I guess Assassin's Creed Odyssey, well, let's see. HowLongToBeat.com. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. How long did it take to complete? Now, this is one game. You're spending $60 on a game. You're going home. You're chilling. And you're working a 40-hour job during the week. In order to beat the main story, just the main quest, if you just do that, you ignore everything else, everything that the game decides to make you do, the other optional side quests, any other side activities, if you're running around, if you're not following this exactly to a T, this game is going to take you 40 hours to beat. Now, actually, that doesn't sound too bad. I thought it was going to be longer than that. But it is longer than, I think, previous Assassin's Creed games. Let's see if that is the case. Let's check out Syndicate, which was one of the more recent ones. Okay, yeah, exactly. 18 hours. So, this is already double. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the most recent one, is already double the amount of previous Assassin's Creed games. I bet you most of them are around 20 hours just for the main story. If you add in other stuff, this game takes upwards of 100 hours to complete. That I can say with certainty. Just look up on Reddit, all kinds of people talking about that and how long this game takes. And so you buy this game that you're hoping can be a yearly event. You want to be able to kind of just shave right through it, maybe on a weekend, enjoy it over the holidays, and all of a sudden you're stuck playing it into the next year, into the following spring, and then all of a sudden other games are coming out, and you're done. You've played enough. Like, you want to play something else now. Like, it's enough time. You've put months into, like, depending on your schedule. I don't know. Other people maybe can blow through that sort of thing in a weekend. That's not me. For me, like, I need to be able to balance my time out a little bit more. So it's a lot of time, and I will dedicate that sort of time to a game if needed, and I will at some point actually dive into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But Ubisoft here saying that's fine is basically the news headline. They are essentially saying that they're okay with the fact that their games are taking incredibly long, that they are giant, and that even just running from one side of the world to the other takes almost a day's worth of time. That might be a little bit facetious on my part. I might have to look up something like that to clarify in the future. But in any case, it looks like they are okay with the fact that these games are so big. And that's okay for them, I guess. These games have been working out pretty well for them. Odyssey, I think, sold pretty well, and so did Origins. So who am I to judge? Maybe the big games being longer are okay, but that is the biggest reason why I have stayed away from them, if I am perfectly honest. Looks like this was a Destructoid article. It was the Ubisoft CEO saying, our goal is to make sure you can have a Unity within an Odyssey. Just reading this article real quick. It's by Peter Glakowski. Make sure to go give them a click. Of course, Destructoid. Over the course of this last generation, smaller, more focused, linear games have basically fallen out of fashion in favor of massive open worlds, says Peter Glakowski. Even Nintendo got in on the action with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, creating a ridiculously large version of Hyrule with virtually no limits. Skylar, this is Josh speaking again, Skylar Grinnell, my friend and cohort, recently told me he hates Breath of the Wild. Just wanted to put that in there to enrage anybody. And also to say that, Skylar, your opinion is trash, officially. And I will refute that in more ways than one. Back into the article from Peter. Of all the AAA publishers creating similar titles, Ubisoft is the most prolific. Virtually every game from the company is some kind of large-scale world with tons of stuff to do. Some fans of the company's titles have been asking when Ubisoft will return to its classic games like Splinter Cell, Beyond Good or Evil, or even the earlier Assassin's Creed games. Apparently, they won't be anytime soon. When questioned if something like Assassin's Creed Unity will ever make a comeback, a game that featured a single location and shorter story, Guillermo said, "No. Our goal is to make sure you can have a Unity within an Odyssey. If you want to have a story of 15 hours, you can have it, but you can also have other stories. You live in that world and you pursue what you want to pursue. You haven't experienced many Unity-like experiences." So that's an interesting way of looking at it, actually, but kind of weird. So we were talking about Ubisoft, and I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up that topic there. So Ubisoft being, of course, adamant about having these giant open worlds. Nintendo